Hello, my friends. This is Daryl Andrews, Coach D, coming to you with another one of our lives. And this is one I think that you really want to take some time to think about and contemplate if you're listening. Because in my many years of doing the work that we do, which is training, coaching, and consulting, we've seen a lot of people do well, achieve, specific outcomes in their lives, goals, career goals, business goals, things of that nature. But then we also have seen a lot of people who have not. We've seen people complete some of their tasks at hand. There's some of the things they say they're going to go after, be it writing a book or going for a job promotion, things of that nature. And then we've seen a lot of people who have not. you know, we've seen people who find a way to wake up every day and make some neat things happen. And then we see a lot of people out here who just spend 20, 30 years of their life talking about what they're going to do for with their lives. They've kind of fallen in love with the conversation, but not the action. Okay, now that's harsh, but it's the truth. All right. And some of you out there probably saying, ouch, coach. I think that's me a little bit here, but it's somebody, one thing I realized when people care about you and they love you, they're going to tell you the truth, even if it hurts. All right. So at some point, we got to get beyond loving the conversation to doing the action. All right. Write that one down. That's a good note. Beyond, enjoying the conversation, man, I'm going to do this, man. I'm going to do that, man. I'm going to accomplish this, man. I'm going to accomplish that. And then be willing to put in the work to achieve that outcome that you have. So with that in mind, today I want to talk about a word that I've been using for a long time. It's a confluence of two words, and that's motive action. All right. Now put that in the chat feature for those of y'all who are looking at this. And this would be good for your staff. This would be good for your leaders. This would be good if you're building a business. This would be good if you're going to college, high school. It don't matter where you are in life. Marriage just works. All right. And so I'm going to give you two words that's kind of conjoined, and that is motive and action. All right. And as you can tell, that's the two words that make up the word motivation. All right. Now, it took me about 10 years to understand this because I got into this industry because I fell in love with motivational speakers. I did. I had other reasons too. I was gifted, you know what I mean, to do these things. A lot of people told me, man, it's like every time you would speak, I feel, the power coming from you. So I had all that. But then I realized after standing on stage after stage after stage after stage, doing coaching after coaching after coaching after coaching, some people still didn't move the needle in their lives. And like, man, you start thinking, is it me or whatever? And what you realize, no, to some extent it could be. Now, I'm human. I'm not perfect. So the reality is I could make mistakes like everybody else. There's been times on stage I had to apologize to people with some of the things I said earlier because I didn't really know what I was saying, but said it anyway, thought I was doing right, wasn't doing right. But the reality is, I can sit here to like today and I can tell you you can accomplish this goal. I can tell you you can accomplish this dream. I can tell you you can build this organizational culture. I can tell you so many things. I really can. There's a lot of things I could tell you. But what you got to realize is this. Unless you have a motive, and a motive is, and listen to this, is an inner state that's driven towards a goal. Unless you have a motive, okay? All right, I'm in a shared space, so we got people all over the place, y'all. All right, and so yes, you have a motive, which is an inner state that's driven towards a goal. The reality is this: that the thing that you're looking to do, a person can sit there and inspire you all day long. Okay, they can inspire you all day long, but you are going to have to be the one to have the inner resolve to make it happen. All right, literally the inner resolve to make it happen. And so that's why I said the power of motive action, because motive action is an inner resolve. It's something that I got to have inside of me. That so when motivation in itself, you know what I mean, kicks in, or you hear a person share something, then the reality is this: when you hear them share something, then what they're saying is going to make sense because you have that motive action. You have that inner state that's inside of you that's saying, yeah, I resonate with what this person is saying. So like your college campus may bring in lecturers, your school may bring in a motivational speaker to speak to the students. Your organization may bring in people like myself, because I do this all the time, and you motivate and inspire these companies, these organizations, these leaders. Your agency, your workforce development, we do a lot of work there, can bring us in to do these different things, and I love doing them. So does my team. But one thing we are big on trying to do is get you to have a motive. get you to understand why you're even doing this in the first place. Okay. What is it that, you have inside of you as an organization or an individual that's going to cause you to take this information and apply it and do something with it? Because if not, you'll be one of those people that are just, I call them speech junkies. They'll go from this person's speech to that person's speech to this person's speech, or they may follow one person for 10, 15 years, hearing that same person say the same things over and over and over and over again, but they never do anything with it. It's just a good conversation. And so you got to realize that all the like people who speak, train, motivate, and all that, it's really good that there's a lot of people out here doing this now. There's probably more now than there's ever been. But the point I'm making is it could be people like me, 20 something years in the game, or it could be people just starting out yesterday. The reality is what they're going to say is going to be irrelevant if you don't have something inside here to do it. If your organization doesn't have a vision to take that team building training and do something with that team building training. If you as an individual don't have that internal resolve to get up every day like I do at 5:30, work out and start working with my business every single day. I don't break. I'm always up early. I'm always working. I put the time in. That's an internal resolve. You see, that's a internal resolve. And so motivation then becomes, if you're out there and you hear what I'm saying, we always say if you're picking up what I'm putting down, drop something in the chat feature. If I can see it based upon where we are, I'll put up here on the screen so people can see what you have to say, especially if it's related to this topic. And so we always hear motive. Like the thing about it with motive, when we hear the word motive, it's always connected to something not so good. Like it's connected to a motive to commit a murder or a motive to commit a crime. But what we don't understand is that word motive is a powerful word because all it is is an internal state that's driven by a goal. So another thing you got to look at too when it comes to this, no goal, no motive. No goal, no motivation. That's why you can sit in the audience and speak, and there's 10,000 people sitting in there, only 3 people get it. It's not you, it's that those 3 people sitting there have got it. I remember this one guy named I met years ago. I did a presentation for Toastmasters. And Toastmasters, this is a big regional group of people who take classes to become get certified, in different speaking levels. And I was in the early stage of my career. And this one guy came up and said something that was so powerful. He was talking about, he heard my presentation. And when you're speaking in front of Toastmasters, you really have to be good. You can't do any ums, you can't do any ahs, because they're counting. So you really got to know how to speak when you're dealing with Toastmasters, or you're going to be in trouble. All right. You got the counters and all that kind of stuff. So you better make sure your speech is tight because they know what a good speech is supposed to be about. And so fortunately, I didn't have a lot of that in my presentation. Every now and then I do, but because Zig Ziglar used to have them in every other word, but that's Zig. He got away with it. But I just knew that for me, you know what I mean? When I was doing that presentation, he walked up to me and said, man, you know what? Your presentation became mine. And he said, here's why. He said, I got some things inside of me. And as you were sharing, I took your wording and put it and connected it to my situation and started asking myself the question, what can I do differently to achieve this particular outcome based upon how you position your words and achieve the specific outcome in your life? I said, that's a guy that's going to succeed. And he has. That's a guy that's succeeded tremendously. I mean, really tremendously. And I know firsthand from experiences I've had with him. But the point I'm making is that's the perfect understanding of what I'm talking about. That internal resolve he had connected to the words that I shared. That's the same thing when your leader speaks to you. You get mad at the person or you listen to what they're saying. Because sometimes leaders are saying it in something not the nicest way, but they're saying it because they believe in you. And sometimes they're going to push you to be your best. But you get angry because you think they're too hard on you, or sometimes that's true. You got to be careful, leaders. We got to be wise as far as how we interact. And particularly in this generation, it's a little different now, especially post-pandemic. But the point I'm making is simply this. We simply have to understand that it's important for us to embrace a motive, an inner state, in order to produce a new outcome. Because if not, you'll read every book, you go to every seminar out here, you'll listen to every speaker because everybody got a message. Everybody's message is the message, including mine. We all think we got the answer to everything, or not everything, but the thing we are in. And most of us do, especially those who research this stuff to the nth degree. But the reality is, it boils down to you having an inner state, a motive that's driven by a goal to produce an outcome. So that's all I got for you today. If you have any questions, reach out to me at my website here. I'll pop that in there, coachdSpeaks.com. We do speaking, training, and coaching programs. Check out our website to learn more about it. But most importantly, if we never interact again, realize motivation is made of two words: motive and action. If you don't have a motive, you'll never produce action, because the motive is what gives you the drive to do the action. So when you read a book, listen to something, listen to a webinar, attend an event, you hear somebody, they'll be doing more than inspiring you. They'll give you you grab the kind of tools, the internal resolve to produce the outcomes, because you have the right motive. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.